Hello everyone. For this tutoring video, I'd like to go over the mechanics of how the wedge works, including a diagram of all the forces involved in it, and a proof of the mechanical advantage formula for it, like I did with pulleys last time. A wedge can actually be thought of as a compounding of two inclined planes back to back, forming a triangle shape like this. Most of the time, a wedge has the end opposite the sharp end pushed on in order to do work. As the wedge cuts into a surface, like wood for example, the surface it cuts into will exert forces back onto it along the inclines of the two sides of the wedge, as well as a force right back at the tip itself. Referring back to the fact that work done is force times distance times cosine of degree between the two vectors, we can see that if the distance gets shorter, the force must get greater. And in fact, the horizontal distance at the tip of the wedge is very, very small, almost infinitesimal, so that the force is very large. We can also see that the mechanical advantage of the wedge based off these forces will be the length divided by the width. Ignoring factors such as friction. This makes sense because a wider tip means that it is less narrower and so will have less force. Like how a shovel is still a wedge but has a wider tip than a sword. The length at the top of the formula also logically makes sense, because the object spans a greater distance, and so you would have to exert less force for it to reach the same position. Join me in my next tutoring video when I discuss the mechanics of how a lever works, including concepts such as torque, center of mass, and moment of inertia.